So we are so close, so close, so close. We just left off at one little step. And the reason why we did that, and by the way, I want to make sure I move this down a little bit because I had a label that was overwritten there last time. The reason we did that is your show is not just showing the data. You're being asked to do something with the data. So let me add in another button inside here. We can say we just show everything. I'm going to add in another button inside of here. And let's say that our job is to show oldest of all those. All right, we want to get the oldest person that's coming out of the file. And so let me right-click this and change the variable name to be oldest button. All right, so when I double-click show oldest, the first thing I want to do is I want to clear my display. So I would say output, people output dot set text. I'm going to clean it up to be blank. So whatever was out there before, I blank it up. Now, a lot of what I'm doing is exactly what I did before. So I can copy this over and paste it over if I so choose, but I want to be a little bit fancier than that. Because the whole point, as we saw in the design, is to separate the logic from the I/O stuff. I want to get a list of people, and then I want to do something with that list of people. So let's say I build one more component. And again, this is not required of you. I just want to show you excellent design inside of here. So this is my oldest person chooser class. And quite simply, this is going to be a ridiculously simple little method inside of here. It's kind of overkill, but it serves the purpose. So I want a public method inside of here that returns a person object. And its job is to choose the oldest. I mean, you could also have other methods inside here, choose youngest or whatever like that. But it does that from a list, control space, of person objects. So you might have something that's totaling up a list of things. You might have something that's sorting a list of things. Whatever it's going to be, that logic doesn't work on a file. It can work on a file, but it shouldn't work on a file. It should work on a list of the data in the file. So that way, whether you load it from a file or load it from a database or load it from the user typing it in, that logic can be reused. And so in this case, I do the same thing for person, I need a parenthesis here, person P in people. And I want to start with the oldest person. Okay. If oldest is equal to null, because that's where it starts off with, then oldest is equal to P. 2 equals, excuse me. So for the first person, I make the oldest equal to P, and then I can actually continue on to the next one. Just to show you a little logic, the continue operation skips everything else and jumps to the next person. All right, so if not, so if oldest.get age is less than p.get age, then that person's the oldest. And there you go. And then I can return oldest. Quite simply. You give me a list of people, the first one on the list is the oldest. If the next one on the list is older, they're the oldest. Otherwise, continue on. It won't be null after the first time, but then it keeps checking. If the next one on the list is oldest, then return that. Then it gets to the end and it returns it. Very simple little bit of logic right there. So if I come back to my GUI, my main app right here, I come back to my show oldest button, I can copy some of this now without having copying all of it. So what I want to do is I want to get a person reader and a try catch inside of here. So I'm going to copy all of it for the moment. And I'm going to get rid of the dealing with this right there, this looping. So I get the people, and then I can say oldest person chooser OPC, is equal to new oldest person chooser. And I can now go to my people output, and I can append to that the OPC dot choose oldest for the list of people. Dot toString. Yes, there you go. So now my logic is I have my component that'll load a list of people. I can have a reusable piece of business logic that can sort the people, that can count the people, that can see how many people's last name is Tony or Lowe or Bob or Skywalker or whatever we want it to be, and then I can take the results of that work and throw it in my display. So notice my GUI has no business logic here. I have a separation between dealing with I/O, dealing with whatever logic is sorting my data, selecting my data, counting my data, summing my data, and then throwing it out in the display. This is an ideal situation. I have input coming from one source, logic coming from a second source, and output going to a third source. So let me run this real quick. There's my display. Bring it up over here. I can show all the people. And let's see who's the oldest. Chewy's the oldest. 199. Show all the people. And Chewy's the oldest. So that essentially is a guide to constructing your logic. There's nothing to say that all the lines of code for read people couldn't be right here. If I go look at the person reader class, there's all these lines of code. So there's from line 27 through 55. So it's just shy of 30 lines of code could be inserted right here. And then the oldest person chooser right here, this guy is line 13 through 20, so 15 more lines of code. That could be inserted right here. And then this one line of code here. So this could be 50 lines of code right here, or it could be 3. Again, for some of you, this hopefully feels natural. Oh yeah, I have high-level steps. I have abstractions. I read the people, I sort the people, I print the people. Others of you, you might not understand the abstraction, might not bounce it around a little bit. It's something that Java programs do. It's something you'll have to get familiar with over time. So take a shot and see how you feel about it now. If it doesn't work out, that's fine. You can always refactor to this, which is the way we've constructed this code. But any which way, this is a pretty solid solution, and so hopefully you can come up with something very similar to it. So use this as a template and a guide, and let me know what questions you have.